Hey, teacher fam. What's up? Antoine here, and welcome to the Teacher Support Network podcast. In a previous episode, we talked about building relationships as the foundation to supporting students with disabilities. And today in this episode, we're going to add that next layer, which is the value of procedures and routines. Harry Wong said it best in his book, The First Days of School, when he wrote, "The number one problem in the classroom is not discipline, it is the lack of procedures and routines." And here's the thing. Those procedures and routines aren't just about order. They're about giving students what they crave the most: safety, consistency, and yes, predictability. And for students with disabilities, routines and procedures reduce anxiety. They strengthen executive functioning. They give students the mental space and capacity to focus on learning instead of wasting time wondering what's next. And that's what the gift of predictability gives them. With procedures and routines. And as Rick Smith in his book Conscious Classroom Management said, procedures are the railroad tracks and content is the train. Let me say that again. Procedures are the railroad tracks and content is the train. Without the tracks, the train goes nowhere, or worse, it derails. Predictability with procedures lays those tracks and keeps everything steady. And routines and procedures, they aren't really about control. They're about access. And for our students with disabilities, they're like an equity tool. Think of it like this. Because when kids know what to expect, they can relax, take risks, and engage more. They don't have to guess the rules or wonder if expectations will change depending on who's in a room. That's why predictability matters. It creates safety and frees students up to learn. But here's the kicker. Routines only work if the adults are consistent. And that's where collaboration comes in. When gen ed teachers, sped teachers, and instructional assistants are all aligned, students get the same clear message no matter who's in charge. And when you're aligned, students pick up on it instantly. And when you're not aligned, they definitely pick up on it. And they know when one adult says one thing and another says something different, that inconsistency will just unravel all the good work you're trying to do. So take 5 to 10 minutes with your co-teacher, teacher partner, or your instructional assistant to just check in and agree on those top 3 to 5 routines. I know there are more, but agree on those top 3 to 5 that matter the most for your kids. And decide together how to teach them, how to reinforce them, and then keep them consistent through practice, and more practice. So I'm going to give about a few practical teaching tips for laying the groundwork with procedures and routines. So first, like I just mentioned, pick the essential ones. Don't overdo it. Choose the handful of routines and procedures that make the biggest difference, like transitions and transition times, passing out materials, turning in student work, working in groups, entering and exiting the classroom, and so forth. Those are kind of procedures and routines that happen all the time. So just being aligned with that is super important. After picking these essential ones that you're going to teach them explicitly. Don't assume that kids know how to do it. Model it, practice it, and reteach it when needed, especially when you come back from breaks, especially when semesters or terms change, or even sometimes when you get new students in the middle of the year. It's important to continue to teach them consistently, reteach them, and practice. Next, use visuals. For students with disabilities who struggle with memory, visual schedules and cards can be game changers. So I always say go visual, especially when you're teaching your procedures and routines so they have something to as a reference point. And last, collaborate weekly. Like I said earlier, even 5 minutes with your co-teacher, your teaching partner, or instructional assistants to just sync up and enforce consistent routines and procedures can save hours of confusion and frustration later. And here's the truth. Let's be honest. Procedures and routines might not feel very flashy, but they really are an act of kindness and care for our students. For students, the predictability is a lifeline. And for us as teachers, it's a form of self-care. Because when routines and procedures are clear and consistent, you save yourself from chaos and can have better classroom management. You preserve your energy for the best parts of teaching, which is building those connections, building those deep relationships, and more importantly, watching your students learn and grow throughout the year. So be encouraged, teacher friend. Routines aren't about control. They're about creating a space, a predictable environment where students have the chance to thrive. Now, before I wrap up, I've got something for you. If you want an easy way to start conversations with your co-teacher or instructional support teachers about procedures and routines, grab my free Gen Ed and SPED Teacher Collaborative Conversations Guide. It's packed with prompts to help you build alignment on key areas to support students with disabilities from day one. And if you want to go deeper, check out my Collaborative Meeting Templates pack. It gives you ready-to-use structures and editable Google Doc templates that make collaborative meetings for students with disabilities more focused and productive instead of painful. Both of those I'm going to link in the show notes, so go look at that after the episode. And until next time, keep showing up, keep planting those seeds. You're doing better than you know, teacher friend. Bye for now.